nation united in grace.
What inspires me? Many things. And I guess it's almost the same for a lot of artists, but obviously it's usually people that I've met, people's artworks of any sorts, and definitely what the world is becoming every day. I think people talk more than they do, so there's no action being done on what they've promised. Or what they say it's going to happen, and I try to not be as much as possible like those kind of people. And I don't like to give so many promises as well. If I want to summarize everything, there's just not enough respect, and people are just making their own rules, setting up their own rules, thinking they're always right. So, yeah. I love the country for the roots I have been brought up with or by. I love the fact that there's still very strong beliefs and depths in culture and tradition. And because of that, I'm thankful that I am the way I am today. I think Malaysia has so many colours. Like, there's more than what the normal spectrum is. Arts. More advanced in terms of maybe collaboration with international artists and organizations, making a huge impact, creating a platform for any sort of artists overseas. I think I can see that happening. I think artists need to be more confident and brave in terms of speaking out their minds, obviously with correct facts and positive statements, I feel, to encourage more people to be an example, a good example, not just to the nation, but to other emerging artists. I can definitely see a huge development in how they want to make something, whether it's visual, whether it's dance, whether it's sculpture. I think our generation is starting to discover a lot more interesting stuff that has never really been pushed forward to make it even more noticed by the other people around the globe.
Hi, I'm Joseph Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm Marin De Cruz.
I am the Dean of the Faculty of Dance at the National Academy of Arts, Culture and Heritage, which is also known by its acronym of ASWARA.
I'm a dancer, choreographer, producer, and I teach in the dance faculty of ASWARA. And I run Five Arts Centre.
Actually, her mom is my friend. The mom always talked about her daughter, right? And she was the first of her children. And it was quite exciting when the mom got married because it was a mixed marriage, an interracial marriage. So obviously, there's some drama around that as well. You know, she fell in love with her very handsome neighbor. And, you know, fortunately, they're still very happily married, so that's a good thing. And Suhaili was the eldest daughter.
She's an amazing dancer. I think that still remains her forte right now. Really, really beautiful dancer in contemporary, in classical ballet, in some traditional forms as well.
As a performer, she's really quite stunning in the contemporary, Western contemporary techniques and so on. She's really magic on stage, and she's very, very magnetic. And it's she is somebody you will watch when she's on stage.
I actually started dancing with my mom, and she had a few ballet schools when I was born, and that was already her passion. And I suppose I just loved going over to the dance school whenever she has to teach. Then it grew from there, and Mom realized that I have potential. So I was with her school, the Aurora School of Dance, till I went to Australia when I was 17. So then my passion for contemporary dance grew even more in Australia. When I've seen more works there, then there are more festivals there. So that opened up a bigger scope for me apart from ballet training. And then I came back after I did my honours year, which took me to the real world of what it's like to be a performer, I suppose, and not a student anymore. And then when I came back, it was also the first time that Malaysia had their first season of So You Think You Can Dance. And that was just perfect because I was already trained, I was ready to go, I was hungry for any opportunity, and the only reason why I needed to go into this competition was not really, well, of course, to win in my mind, if I can, but I knew that every week was going to be something different, something really quick that you've got to cook up with your partner. And that was really fun. I really enjoyed it, and that helped me expose my potential. They're very smart at finding really good movements to go with the right timing of the music or the sound or the transition of where it's going. The more you understand, of course, as a dancer, you have to really understand what the choreographer wants. Sometimes it's so powerful that it takes over you emotionally, even though you're rehearsing it as best as you can. And then once you're on stage, that's when it's not about rehearsing and keeping it all perfect. It's actually really owning that character or that specific role that you are responsible for. When I really do, I would say serious artwork, no. Well, when I start making a work that I want it to be important for every performer, because my way of working is influenced by other choreographers that I've worked with and that I have utmost respect for. Most of the time, I would like the dancers' input in what they think of the work. I would try to investigate further with them, probably tear our brains apart, but I think it's not about just focusing on what me or myself as a choreographer, but to create this really strong relationship with the performer. We would bring some sort of synergy together rather than I give you, you deliver kind of thing. So it's very important. I believe in that sort of formula.
I think she's beginning the journey as a choreographer. There were a couple of pieces which have been really, really quite good. She did something called Nerds Gone Nuts, which was quite funny. Contemporary choreography is tricky, people are always dancing about sort of dark things. Humor is a very difficult thing to do well. So I thought Nerds Gone Nuts was a good piece. Young choreographers these days tend to be locked into what I call the 10-minute choreographer. They can choreograph a 10-minute piece, and from the 11th minute, they are lost for ideas. And it just happens to be a generational thing. I think in my time, we just had no choice. We had to do full-length shows. So even if they were 10-minute pieces, you had to do 6 10-minute pieces. But young choreographers now, they have more opportunity to put their work out in the number of events that are going on. So they can do a 10-minute piece here and a 10-minute piece there. The stamina to think through a full evening of work tends to be something which very few are willing to take on. So I was, I keep talking about this and pushing the young choreographers. You do full-length work, do full-length work, do full-length. So she did Flatland.
I am a square who has seen that which he never should. I am a square who has watched the corners of knowledge be torn away. I am a square who's gone beyond normal proportion.
I thought there were some things in that show which were really spectacular, and other things which didn't work so well. But I think for me the best thing was that she actually did push herself to make a full-length work.
She fits very nicely into the department, and the students really love her, respect her.
She's a great teacher. The kids love her. It's very good to have younger people teaching and to have good young teachers, because the students relate to a young teacher in a very different way than they relate to, an older teacher. So we're lucky in the faculty because we've got the entire range of the 60-somethings to the 20-somethings. She's definitely someone to watch, someone to keep our eye on.
I believe that it's important for young people to be inspired by people like Suhaili, and I think she has, of course, youth on her side. She's a bit of a diva, very fashionable. She's, pretty, beautiful. She's in advertisements, she's in commercials. So she's very marketable, and she's very good at being able to do that for herself as well. So these are things that I think are very important for the young artists to think about. And I'm always telling them, learn from her and understand how she's sort of managing her career and how she decides the trajectory of her career. I think it's critical for young artists to think about.
I'm